What's up, everybody? Just your boy WolfpacMaine here, back at it again. I have a new update video for you guys with the Rajah Jackson case. We have another video here by our buddies over at Scaling Up Podcast. You all give them a subscribe and a like. Now we have an interview. We have an interview with the 17-year-old wrestler with the face paint that helped pull that was trying to help pull Rajah Jackson off of Syko Stew. This was before that. This was before Doug Marlowe came in for the save. So, fair use. I'm giving my commentary on this video here. This one is called 17-year-old who helped stop Rajah speaks out. All right. This is for educational purposes only. And let's roll the tape.
Welcome to episode 36 of the Scaling Up Podcast. Make sure to like this video and hype it using YouTube's new hype feature. Of course, make sure to subscribe to Scaling Up Catches Official, where we catch child predators with our friends Ian and Doug every single week. And today we are continuing the coverage of the whole Rajah Jackson situation and hopefully getting some new insight, because we've got the 17-year-old kid, actually 18.
Yeah, actually 18. just to clarify that.
Almost 19.
Yeah, almost 19. Almost 19. Honestly, it's not on Doug. He met me at 16, so he's kind of always just remembered me at like either 16, 17. So, you know, I didn't fault him for getting my age wrong.
Well, look, nobody expected the podcast with Doug to go as viral as it did, but now because of that, you know, you're forever the 17-year-old kid.
Yep. I'll be 17 until I'm in my 30s.
Your name is Elias, by the way?
Yes.
So to start, the reason you have a little bit of a different perspective on all of this is because you were actually involved in the match with Stu.
Right.
Where all this happened, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get a better understanding. What did this match look like? Let's start with who was booked against who. Was it a tag team match, triple threat? Who was the face? Who was the heel? Like, what did the match look like?
So, for starters, the match was actually a triple threat tag team match for the titles at Knox. So it was me and Timmy Handsome representing the LLC, which is like the big heel faction of Knox Pro. We were going in as the heels of that match against Syko Stu and Ramel Justice, and those two are like pretty well liked and well tenured baby faces at Knox. Babyface means good guys, heels are bad guys. And Slick Sensations, they were the champions and also kind of the bigger heels in it. They were the bigger heels in that specific match. So it was a three-way tag match, and the role that me and Timmy were supposed to play, where we were supposed to play the like kind of heelish, but people understood where we were coming from, but we were gonna end up being the major bad guys in the end. That was supposed to be the whole play of the match.
Yeah. Didn't go as planned.
Well, I mean,
You didn't end up being the bad guy.
as we know.
Kind of certain face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the plan for the match initially? I mean, you don't have to walk us through the whole match, but like, what was the finish? What was Rajah? Did you know that Rajah Jackson was even going to be involved in it?
So I didn't even know that Rajah Jackson was going to be at the venue, let alone involved in the match. I was told by my...
Yeah, again, Rajah Jackson, he wasn't even supposed to be there. Like, he was just a friend of the wrestler with the AJ Mana, the guy, the wrestler with the cowboy hat. So let's continue.
tag partner Timmy Handsome, because Timmy had spoke to Stu. Doors were open already when the situation had already happened. By the time we were told Rajah's involvement in the match 1 was already about to start. We were match 4 on the card. So I was sitting there, I'm getting my paint on, and Timmy Handsome walks over to me and he goes, Rampage Jackson's son, Rajah Jackson, is in the crowd. He's getting involved in our match. Truthfully, I thought it was like a rib. I went, yeah, Rajah Jackson's in the crowd of Knox Pro. And he was like, stone-faced was just like, yeah, he's in the front row. And I was like, what the I don't know if I can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
I was like, what the fuck is Rajah Jackson doing here? And he was like, I don't know. I guess some situation with Stu happened. So already to me, I'm like, that's already like a major red flag that there was a situation with Stu of all people. So I went to my phone and I Googled it, like, you know, Rajah Jackson. Sure enough, like one of the first results on Google was like a TikTok clip that somebody had clipped, and it was the only footage I had seen, and I didn't have time to like fully look into everything because I'm like, I still got to get ready for my match and figure out what this now other layer of the match is getting added on now. So I
See, that's the problem with with this Knox Pro place right here, man. It was so much miscommunication that took place here, where this event didn't even have to have to happen, man. 'Cause that's what happens when everybody don't get onto the same page on certain topics and issues, especially at the workplace, man.
Looked at the footage and I saw Stu crack him over the head with a beer can, and I already was confused because I've never seen Stu, drunk or not, just walk up to somebody that he doesn't know and hit him. So I'm like, all right, I guess that we're turning this into a spot then. I already felt everybody in the match, truthfully, already felt some.
So he just said that he never really seen Psycho Stu go up to anybody and just hit him over the head with a can. But AJ Mana he was in Rajai Jackson's ear, gaslighting him up, telling him that Psycho Stu does stuff like that all the time backstage, where he likes to play too much, where the other guys don't really want to or something.
Way about the spot because we thought it was dumb already. We were very much like, this makes no sense. Raja wasn't advertised. There's no reason for him to be involved. The audience gains nothing or loses anything if he's not involved or not. The spot we were told, and again, keep in mind, Raja was never brought backstage to speak to anybody. If you watch the full stream, Raja is never brought backstage to talk to Stu about the spot. He's never brought backstage to talk to anybody in.
Exactly. I said the same thing before. Soon as they shook hands backstage and then they went through, there was still no script to go over for the run in. Like they didn't go over any storyline or what Raja was supposed to do once he get into the ring. Like all that's supposed to be planned out.
The match about what the spot was.
Which is not normal if you're doing a spot.
No, it is not. I've seen run-in spots countless times at that place, and every single time, the person that's running in, wrestler or not, is usually brought backstage, talks to all the boys, talks to the booking and creative guys, and most importantly, the people in the match. So the fact that Roger was never coming backstage or like was never.
See, I've been watching wrestling like all of my life, and I always follow backstage dirt with pro wrestling, with the backstage drama, and then you know, it has backstage politics and stuff. And a lot of times too, a lot of times stuff that happens backstage be way more entertaining than the stuff that's on TV in some cases. But like the stuff that he's saying right now where, the wrestler's supposed to be backstage and they go and talk with the producer of the show to go over the script. See, I already knew stuff like this, but to all my casual watchers, then he's explaining it right here.
Like briefed on anything or never told anything already. I was like, this is super weird. But my mentality was, I'm not the booker, I'm not the promoter. It's not really my issue. They're handing me the match. I'm just gonna try and make it as good as I can with everybody else involved.
Yeah.
See, a smart move. He just doing what he was told to do. Because sometimes you don't want to. At the job place, you just got to be careful of not, getting out of line, especially with management. And since he's so young too, so he was kind of put in a rock and a hard place, like because he knew what was going on wasn't right, but he really couldn't say anything about it though.
So what was the spot?
The spot that we were told was that Raja was supposed to come up on the apron. Mine and Timmy's manager was gonna distract the ref. Raja was supposed to give Stu a single punch in the face. Stu was supposed to turn around from the ropes. Me and Timmy Handsome were gonna hit Stu with the flagpole that he always walks out with, and then we were just gonna like beat him up right there. And then another tag team was supposed to come out, fight off me and Timmy Handsome.
But real quick, what the fuck is this booking? Like, because me and Tanner we were actually thinking about going to the show to support Doug, and like if we had went as first time viewers, not knowing any of this, like what is going on? That's just a side note.
No, I mean, but yeah. So we were supposed to hit Stu with the flag, beat up on him, and then another team comes in while the refs are distracted, fights us off, and then Slick Sensations was gonna slide in and win. And
is that who ended up pinning Stu? One of those guys?
No. The one that covered him was Timmy Handsome.
Is that your partner?
Yeah, he was my partner. He's a good friend of mine.
Congrats on winning the match.
Dude, we were fucking we were fucking mad we had those belts. I do see a lot of people like shitting on him. I do want to say
Wait a minute, it was a tag team match? It was a tag team championship match? Don't tell me that they won. Don't tell me that they won championship titles off of a legit um unconscious man. Well, he didn't even know. He wasn't even the one that pinned him. Let's continue.
Like it wasn't like he was going like, oh, I need to get my shit in. It was more like nobody's throwing the match, nobody's fucking ringing the bell or anything, because everybody in that moment was so like frozen. I think his mentality was, let me snap the ref back to reality of we need to get him the fuck out. So he like covered him. Like if you see, he has like all his pressure on his hands and knees, covers him, and then we started like rolling Stu to the side of the ring because we're like, he's fucking choking on his blood. We need to turn him to the side so he's not like, he doesn't fucking die right there. That's where I know his mentality was at. So I do want to say, like, it wasn't to be like, oh, let me get my shit in. I think it was just kind of different people respond to the situation differently. I know I certainly like responded in a way that I'm not fucking proud of.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, mostly, even though I know it's not the right thing to do, I probably look at myself like I should have gone in sooner. I should have maybe tried to grab him a different way from the start, you know, shit like that.
I feel like
See, he's been a little hard on himself, and I feel that he shouldn't feel that way because it all happened so fast. You know, as soon as he went into the ring, he slammed him and got on top of him, start mounting and punching him. Some of them thought they didn't know what was going on because nobody told them in the ring.
he started to try to grab him pretty fast. But like, what was going on through your head when you were trying to grab him? Like, do you think he would have tried to start swinging on you? Like he tried to fight Doug?
100%. When I hooked him, and I had been saying this, that I don't like bringing it up because it feels like a cop out or like an excuse, but I had hurt this arm like fairly early into the match. I got given a move and I ended up like pulling a muscle right here. And I was like, shit, dude. So when I rolled out to the ring and I was down there, I wasn't selling. I was like, I need to make sure my arm is good so we can finish this match and put on a show for the fans. So that's why I'm checking my arm, and Raja actually misses his spot to come in. Like there's a point where in the footage you see Stu walk over to the ref and like pull him and like talk to him. And that was because Raja missed his spot. So when I saw that, I was like, I guess the spot's just not happening. At this point, nothing's being communicated to me, so I'm just off assumption. I'm like, okay, I guess it's not happening. So I went back down and I'm like, let me make sure my arm's good. And then I heard the music kicking and I'm confused and I'm like, what the fuck is happening now? I'm like, what, the spot passed already? What's going on? And that's when I look up, Stu's in the fucking air.
Was that meant to be like his entrance music?
I guess so. Again, I didn't know the dude was gonna have entrance music.
I didn't even remember hearing music though because it was so loud in there.
It's fucking bizarre because, you know, usually in wrestling you don't see somebody that's gonna do like a celeb run-in have entrance music. It's just something you're not used to. So when I heard the music, I'm like, who the fuck is I'm like, what is getting added to this shit now? I'm like, we have so much, like, it was 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. It was fucking obnoxious. But yeah, so I saw Stu in the air and he got dropped. And from where I'm looking, I thought Stu bumped. So I'm like, did they end up like calling a spot where he like double legs him like that? So I'm like, okay, I've seen Stu bump. That was a shitty bump. Already red flags are in my...
Yeah, that double leg takedown, man, was hard. Like slammed him on the back of his head, man. That's where he got knocked out. He got knocked out right away from that takedown.
My mind, I'm like, that was fucking weird. Then I start seeing like the hits come and I'm like still frozen. I'm like, is this still like part, I'm like, is this still part of the match? What the fuck is happening? When I realized something was wrong was when I saw a hit Stu's head
Knocked
like
his head.
jolted this way and I saw blood shoot out. And I was like, oh fuck, he's beating the shit out of Stu. So I got in and I tried to grab him with this arm and he was just fucking going. So I was like, I can't fucking grip him with this arm. So I was like, all right. And I hooked under.
And it's messed up too because he had hurt his left arm, so he really couldn't help that much.
With this arm on him to try and pull him. And yeah, like when I fully believe he would have started hitting on me the way he tried to shoot on Doug, because when he started turning around, I was already like, fuck, I need to get my hands up or this dude's gonna fucking kill me right now. And I felt lucky that Doug was able to be there, even though like I was confused why Doug was there because he had just wrestled the match before. I was like, he wasn't involved.
Well, Doug, as he let us know, he was told to just stay out there and like be on standby just in case. Did you ever get told something like that? That like some shit might go wrong, you know, Just be cautious?
We were told be cautious by another talent. Like, to tell you the truth, everybody that either knew about the spot that was talent or was involved in the match already were like, something about this doesn't feel right. Like, in general, the reason the spot came about felt wrong. And he was like, I don't know, something feels wrong. I had heard him mention, like, if anything happens, just try and pull the guy off if he does anything.
They said that to you?
He had mentioned it to like everybody in that match.
Man, whoever was running that place was so unprofessional, man. That is so unprofessional. They don't know what they're doing, man. They could have gotten serious trouble if Cycle Stu ended up dying that day, man. Being stupid and reckless, uh, not being organized with the matches and the plans and stuff. Like it was just all wrong.
So everybody in the match was in like a circle. He's like, I don't know. I was the closest to him, so he was saying like, if something happens, just like try and pull him off. He's like, I hope, and I'm fairly like a little confident that nothing's gonna happen. He's like, but I can't. I'm not 100% sure.
So you were the first one to kind of really do anything, and then obviously Doug got in there, thank God, and was able to stop the whole thing. Were you expecting anybody else to step in? Like before Doug got in there, were you like, what the fuck? Like, why is nobody else doing anything?
I didn't realize that like everybody else had also froze. I was more like, let me get him off of Stu. Then after, I kind of was like, well, I understand why a lot of people didn't, like I understand why the whole locker room didn't rush out, because we didn't have like camera, like a screen there showing what was happening in the match.
Well, just the people involved in the match. Did you expect any of them, or even the people who did see what was going on besides Doug?
I mean, truthfully, in the moment, I can't say that I was like, why is nobody I was just like, my mentality was, get him off of Stu. He's gonna fucking kill him. That was my mentality. Later, again, I understand that everybody froze. Like, I mean, me and even Doug had said like, we fucking froze. So me personally, I don't fault anybody or I'm not upset with anybody if they didn't like jump in immediately, because I understood like why. Because I had also froze.
So, following this, are you done with Nox Pro?
Yes. It wasn't a decision that I made lightly, and I have friends that are still gonna stay, and I'm not like at odds with any of them, and the relationship is still good with me, whether they left or stayed. But me personally, I just had to leave, because my mentality of leaving was, if something like this could happen to Stu, who has wrestled at Nox for 16 years, he's a close friend of everybody that's in the locker room and a part of management. If something like this was allowed to happen to him, what's protecting a guy like me who's been there since 2022, who's been there for like 4 or 5 years? What's protecting me in that ring? Or what's protecting anybody else that's newer? Or what's protecting the rookies? My concern was the safety of myself, but also the safety of everybody that I shared that locker room with. And to me, I was just like, I don't think the intent was to harm Stu or put Stu in harm's way, but regardless, the decision was still made, and it was irresponsible, and I can't stay in a place that'll potentially do shit like that.
Yeah, and while we're on that topic, I guess this is a good time to talk about, so like I said in the first podcast that I did with Doug and Ian, that I used to train in Nox back in the day. What I didn't say is that I almost died at Nox. Now in my case, it was for the most part an accident, but you had a very similar situation.
Yeah, very similar accident.
So, I mean, yeah, let's just talk about that. So what happened in your case? And then I'll talk about mine.
So during one training session, it was like a pretty small class. We were working on clotheslines. And this was my first year. I had joined in July. This was happening in October. I had ended up taking a bump. And when you bump, you're supposed to tuck your chin in, spread the impact. 16-year-old Elias did not do that. I went and my head whiplashed off the mat, and I knew something was wrong because I was like, my head hurts. I'm like, this isn't normally how I feel. I was like, okay, let me keep working. Maybe I just nicked myself a little bit. I'll probably be fine. I ended up going to sleep that day. I woke up and I felt a pain from like here all the way down to like my neck, and I was like, dude, what the fuck is happening? I went to the doctor and they were like, you have a minor concussion, take like a week or 2 off. So I was like, okay. After those 2 weeks were done, I went back to training and I was doing a drill. I was working with another student and wrestler. Me and him are close, so like for his privacy, I'm not gonna say his name, but I love you, man. I don't fault you for anything. But we had did a spot where it was a DDT, and I was held on the wrong side, and like I had only taken the move like maybe once or twice.
Were you like specifically taught how to take the DDT? Because that's like one of the safest moves ever.
Yeah, I was taught like, oh, it's a face bump, just go. I didn't know how to like protect myself if it was on the other side or if the person held on too tight. I just knew like, oh, this is how to take it if somebody gives it to you. So when they held me on this side, and when they dropped me, I didn't turn. I didn't, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to turn when it's a DDT. I didn't have that room, so I was just held tight and was driven right here into the mat. And the ring is not as soft. I mean, you know this. The ring is not as soft.
And there's no excuse for how bad it is.
No, it is.
Considering they've had the same ring since I trained there 11 years ago, like they can afford a new ring.
So like that one specifically is...
It's like way harder than a wrestling ring should be.
Really? Yeah, that's the mentality is if you can bump on this ring, you can bump on any ring. And like when I bump on rings for shows and I'm like, shit, this is like comfortable. I'm like, I could sleep here.
I remember one of the trainers saying, you know, back in my day, this was the ring. And he pointed to the concrete. This is how we trained.
Jesus.
So that's their excuse for having a shitty ring.
But yeah, I took the DDT and my head just collided with the floor, the ring floor. And I remember I got up, they were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, send the next guy in so I can run the drill. And then the room just turned. And I was out, I collapsed, and I had a full-blown concussion. After I'd left the domain, I got picked up, and then 2 days after that had happened, I had 2 back-to-back seizures. Ended up getting taken in an ambulance. Also, like the way I've described the seizure, it's like being put in an arm bar and also going down like a steep roller coaster at the same time. It sucks. So I ended up getting taken. The doctors tell me like, oh, you have a brain bleed. You have blood in between your skull and your brain because a blood vessel popped because of the impact. They were like,
Oh my God, man. That's crazy.
we're not sure if you can go back to wrestling. We're gonna keep doing like CAT scans and like check you. And eventually, yeah, I was able to go back, but they were like, it's gonna be a while till you're 100%. I didn't start wrestling again until maybe like late 2023 to early 2024.
Okay, and you were 16 when this happened?
Yes, I was 16 when I first got injured.
Yeah, so in my case, I was a practice match, a 6-man tag, and I didn't want to talk about this in the previous video, first of all, because not to take attention away from the Stu thing, and also I don't want to seem like a bitch like it was 11 years ago. And I definitely believe it was an accident for the most part. But yeah, it was a 6-man tag, and I had been training there for about 4 months. But you know how the beginner class is structured? I mean, there's no beginner class. Yeah. You're just kind of thrown in there. So like I trained with Brian Kendrick after, and the way that was structured compared to this, it was like night and day. Like he has a specific curriculum, like things planned for specific days,
right? Like
exactly what you're going to learn on each day, right? With this, they just kind of do whatever. So I never learned the thing like when, you know, somebody's jumping on you, you do like the little sit-up thing, right?
Yeah, the whole...
I never learned that, so I just laid there like flat. So,
oh man.
So I had somebody jump with their knees into my spleen. Oh, and I thought I broke a rib, right? I kept taking heat because, I mean, I just figured I'd continue the match. That's what you're supposed to do, even if I'm hurt. And then I no-sold it all the way until the end of practice, Jesus. Which is, I guess that's on me. But like, I was listening to the trainers talk about like, you know, if he's not selling, you hit him.
Hey, I know who he looks like now. On the guy on the left, he looks like a younger Just Incredible, but like a real buff version with the beard. That's who he reminds me of. He has like the same shaped bald head and kind of almost kind of like the same facial structure in a way.
Even harder. And I'm like, I was like trying to get out of there and tag out because I'm actually hurt. But I didn't say anything. I'm like, yes, sir. Okay. And then then one of the trainers pulls me aside and like lectures me about selling. I'm like, yes, sir. Then I remember I go in my car and I just fucking like break down like screaming. And then I was driving to my friend's house. I was supposed to meet him, and I call him on the phone, and I was just gonna come over like nothing is wrong, but he hears me like screaming on the phone. So he calls an ambulance that's already waiting for me by the time I show up. And they take me to the hospital. At the hospital, they give me some they assumed I have broken ribs at first too, so they give me some painkillers, and I'm like, I'm good, let's go home. And I stand up, and immediately I'm like, I can't stand up, and I like Like I'm losing consciousness every time I stand up. So they do more tests. Turns out I have internal bleeding. I'm literally bleeding out as this is happening because I had a ruptured spleen. So they had to do an emergency surgery, and I had already bled out so much that, I mean, thank God I didn't go home, first of all, that nobody let me go home. But yeah, I had already lost so much blood that it was like a 50-50 chance of even surviving that.
Holy shit, man.
And when that was happening, one of the trainers also told my mom something about how I should work on my selling or something. Like when she told him that, you know, Eric has a 50-50 chance of even surviving that, which it's like, okay, like I get it as like a trainer, but I'll probably read the room, like not the right time. And yeah, that's like, again, for the most part, that's an accident, but also after 4 months, I feel like somebody should have told me how to properly protect myself when taking a move like that, you know? Same thing with the DDT. Like I just think back about like my second go at training when I trained with Kendrick, and I learned so much right away, like all these little things about protecting myself that I never learned at Knox. So there's definitely just a issue with structure among other things. And I mean,
yeah, I didn't know it happened like that. I didn't know you just like tried to leave and go home. Like you probably would have died if Farouk didn't call the ambulance for you.
but I mean, my whole point is like shit happens. Obviously, wrestling is a contact sport, you could call it. You're gonna get injured. Of
course.
But I feel like both of our situations probably could have been prevented with better training. And yeah, just so much. I feel like Knox is definitely a future Dark Side of the Ring episode. There's just so much that, like, you know, like when I asked Ian on the other podcast, he's like, how much time we got to tell stories? Like, you could go all fucking day. And I haven't even been there for 11 years. I only know, like, what I've heard from other people.
Yeah.
Besides my time there.
I'm really just sad that, like, because I think Stu is a fucking great guy. He's a fucking great wrestler. And I'm just, like, super bummed out that he's getting fame and notoriety from this.
So, like, what do you think Raja deserves?
I mean, of course, jail time. I don't hate the guy. You know, and this isn't me defending him, but like he didn't show up there to be a part of the show. He truthfully showed up to sit there and just watch.
I mean, if that's how he sits and watches them, that's why he should be in jail. That's my opinion.
Yeah, of course, like, you know, and that's why I'm like, do I think that he was there to cause harm? No, but at the end of the day, doesn't fucking matter. He still got in there and he did what he did. No matter what his intents going into that building were, his actions coming out are what's gonna define that night. And I absolutely think that the dude needs psychological help, but it was a crime. Like, there's no way he doesn't deserve jail time for what he did.
I guess since we have you here too, you might know, is there any more of an update about Stu since the last podcast we did? Last we heard, he was let out of the hospital. He didn't have access to his phone.
Yeah, I actually did get to see him. I got to speak to him, talk to him and his family.
Is he talking coherently?
Yeah, he's talking. I'm not gonna go into what we spoke about just out of
course,
for the privacy of both his wife and him, but he's definitely in high spirits, which, I mean, knowing Stu, that's like expected. And like the thing that like really kind of, I think, exemplifies who Stu is as a person was when I walked in the door, he was like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, why the fuck are you asking me that? I'm like, man, are you good? Because he was like, are you good? Come in. Are you okay? Are you, like, how have you been? And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, I love you, man. What the fuck are you asking me this question for? I'm like, come on, dude. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a long road to recovery for him. But if anybody's tough enough to brave through it, it's Stu, and he's got a great support system in his wife. If anybody's gonna be able to get through it, it's those two. So I definitely think Stu's gonna make a 100% full recovery, but he's definitely doing better now. Again, he's gotta make his way back to 100%.
Yeah, and I guess as far as you were saying, it sucks that he got notoriety for this. Well, I mean, that's the one silver lining, that this did get as much attention as it did. He got all the donations to his GoFundMe.
Yeah.
People like Mr. B saw, because imagine if this happened and it didn't pick up this much traction and nobody saw. That, I feel like that would suck even more.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely glad. And, you know, again, to talk on like wrestling and, you know, in the world in general, there's like a lot of negativity on like wrestling spaces or like wrestling communities. But I think the best parts of the community come out whenever something like this happens. And you saw it like with.
Yeah, like I watch wrestling, but y'all don't really see me in like wrestling communities or like wrestling groups on Facebook and stuff like that, because I don't know. I just don't really be with the crowd like that. You know, I just talk wrestling with the people who follows me over here. You know, some personal friends, but yeah, because a lot of them communities be toxic as hell, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
How many people were talking about it or donating.
And this like transcended wrestling too.
Yeah, no, you're right. It absolutely transcended wrestling. It's definitely something that it was bigger than just the little space of like indie wrestling that we were confined in. It went way bigger than that. And like I said, it does suck that Stu got fame and notoriety from this, but at the same time, I'm glad that he's also getting like a lot of love, and I'm glad he's getting that support from people outside of our space.
For sure. And I'm sure a lot of people mirror this view too. Doug didn't ask for any of this, but I'm glad that he's gotten some notoriety too from being the one good guy in all of this. I'm glad that, you know, he's seen in a positive light now. And
100%.
Should I tell the funny story from yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Drew. She wants to hear the story. So yesterday we're catching pose with Doug, and afterwards we go get some Korean barbecue. We go to pay. We're standing at the front, and these guys walk out, and Doug sees...
I was in the bathroom, by the way, so I didn't see any of this at first.
Doug sees, like, the owner look at them weird. He's like, what happened? What's wrong? And the owner's like, oh, well, they just walked out without paying. And I was going to make a joke, like, oh, thank God the local hero is here. Like, I was about to make that joke. Before I could even say it, Doug's like, where the fuck did they go? Like, we got to go find those guys. And I couldn't tell that he was actually being serious.
Yeah,
so,
no, he was like, could not stop thinking about it the rest of the night.
God.
Yeah, then Tanner comes out.
Yeah, we were searching for this guy. We were walking around the blocks, like literally searching for him.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, you guys go look for them. I still got to film my reel, so I'll wait for you guys. Then I'm waiting for a couple of minutes. I'm like, oh shit, like he's actually serious.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go help them and come back to film the reel after. Coming for those stats now.
See if we can go find those guys that skipped their bill. I can't get it out of my head. I'm gonna find them in the parking garage.
Yeah, that's crazy how that's just Doug.
Yeah, no, that's literally just Doug. There have been points where like he's pulled me aside before and he was like, if anybody ever offers you drugs, tell me and I will beat the shit out of them. He was like, if anybody ever offers you that shit, you fucking tell me. So like, yeah, that's just Doug, and I'm super glad that he got his flowers from this because he absolutely deserves them, you know? He's a great dude.
Off topic, but like immediately my first thought was Doug needs to have like a character like where he just shows up when there's some injustice going on and like save the day. And like it's funny if you say that to him, like he doesn't even comprehend that character because that is like
It's just him. It's just him.
He doesn't like get what's like the appeal.
He's like, what's the character? He's like, what character is there to tell him? Like, he's like, it's just me. But yeah, no, and like he's humble about it. He'll straight up be like, oh, well, I mean, there's no character, but I'm like, dude, it's literally just fucking you. He'll say like, oh, that's stupid. He's like, what the fuck's the point of that? But like, you know, again, I'm like, man, it's literally just you turn to like 100. And he's already at 100, that is it is.
So, anything else you want to add on the whole discussion, on the whole subject? You want to be known about that night?
The main thing that I want out of this is, again, just keep supporting Stu, whatever his decision may be, from a legal sense or like any avenue he takes going forward with the situation. It's like, that's the only thing I could ask for is just keep backing Stu and also just support Doug as well as the other talent that left Nox, because there's a lot of them that left, you know. There's a lot of people that like had left Nox, and they're, in my opinion, they're so fucking talented and absolutely deserve to get booked or have a future in professional wrestling.
They don't know it yet, but they're actually good. They probably have way more of a future now. And I mean, that's a whole separate discussion for another day about how Nox kind of keeps you there. Like with the idea of you can't work anywhere else.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Like some people have dead ass been there since, like they were there longer than when I started 11 years ago, and they're still there. And some of them, like, I don't know if it's just like a hobby, like playing, like some people play pickup basketball, which like, okay, it's cool if you just do it for fun. Yeah. But if some people are there for that long and they still think like their end goal is WWE or AEW, it's like, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of brainwashed.
Yeah, but you know, again, like you said, that could be its own thing, honestly, about talking about that.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about there. And where can people find you?
I am on Instagram at imdoom_187. It's the IM and then doom_187 on Instagram. My link tree is also in my bio, as well as the GoFundMe for Stu.
It's shut down. I don't know why.
Oh, it's shut down? Oh, yeah. I guess they reached the goal then. That's good that they reached the goal then. And I am taking this month off of wrestling, but I mean, once October hits, I'm gonna be back in the game about wrestling at places, you know. So, you know, if anybody feels inclined to follow me for my how I spoke here or my fancy wrestling skills, then you know, I'd appreciate the follow. But you know, again, like I said, I would appreciate more.
And you're the victor of one of the most famous matches.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 2-time Nox Pro champion. Tag team champion.
Did you vacate the title?
Yes, I vacated the title.
Okay.
I had the belt in my house for like one night and I covered it with a blanket. I was like, I can't. I like covered it. I was like, I can't look at it.
So you lost to Bacon.
Yeah,
Happens to the best.
dude. He's unstoppable. He beats everybody. He's bigger. He's better than Prime Hogan. But yeah, no. I'll definitely be back in wrestling come October this year, and I don't know. I guess we'll see where the journey takes me in terms of wrestling. But I'm definitely not done. And you know, again, I'd appreciate the support, and I'd appreciate it more if you guys just support my friends as well as Doug and especially Stu. That's where I'd get more solace knowing like those guys are getting the support because they definitely all deserve it.
Absolutely. Appreciate having you on, bro.
Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate you guys.
This is awkward.
Back to the basics.
Well, before everybody clicks off, I do want to finish the story of why I ended up leaving Knox Pro. That totally left my mind when I was telling the story. But then we actually talked about it with Elias afterwards. So after I got injured, I was told a year of no wrestling, and I was fully intent on coming back as soon as that year is up, as soon as I'm cleared to be able to wrestle. But then a couple months later, another student at the school actually dies. And why he died, I still don't know to this day. I don't think it was anything wrestling related. I think it was completely unrelated. But what was the breaking point is that at his funeral, the trainers were like posting a bunch of smiling selfies like holding his casket and shit. And 2 hours later, they're like posting selfies like, Detroit, we hear yo, Knox Pro, like as if it, you know.
Just moved on right away.
Yeah, which, I mean, obviously life goes on. Like, what are you supposed to do? But at the same time, like, back to reading the room. Like, wait a fucking day to say we're in Detroit.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And yeah, that got me thinking, like, shit, that very easily could have been me. Like, what if that was me and they showed up and...
They probably would have reacted the same way.
Like, imagine how his family was feeling seeing them taking smiling selfies. You know what I mean? Let us know if you want more of the dark side of Knox Pro, because
we know, yeah, we have some connects at this point.
And shit, if anybody at Knox, formerly or currently, wants to come on and tell some stories.
Oh wow, they're gonna start a Dark Side of Knox Pro series, and they're gonna start interviewing some of the ex wrestlers. This could be some good content for us right here, man.
Yeah,
hit us up.
Side, whatever it is.
Speaking of which, you know, obviously all of this was the day it all happened. I found out about the whole Raja situation from a comment on our podcast that had like 1,000 views at the time.
True.
Somebody's like, oh, your boy from the Catches was just involved in the Raja Jackson situation. Holy shit. And I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, holy shit. Doug's the one hero in the situation. I wasn't even going to ask him to come on and talk about it because I knew if he did, he'd get heat. Which in wrestling is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like he'd be kind of blacklisted within the school or whatever. But I didn't know that at that point he'd already left, and it was like way past that point. And at that point I'm like, okay, now you gotta come and talk about it. And when he did talk about it, I told him like, I hope this gets decent views. I can't guarantee anything. Like little did we know that, you know, it
blew up a lot.
And that's with the age restriction. I can't even imagine what it would have been without. But yeah, now we're kind of in a place like, are we just going to be the Raja Jackson channel going forward?
Which, I mean, we're kind of okay with if that's what, you know, what people want to see.
I mean, yeah, it's the Scaling Up podcast.
Exactly.
Scaling up means scaling up whatever the fuck it takes, not just doing what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird situation because like it just so happened that our close friend at the time was involved. It's not like something's going to happen every week. I mean, hopefully not, where somebody we know is involved in a situation like this. So yeah, not sure what if we go back to boys only or
just see what happens. I guess it kind of depends on how this podcast does.
Well, regardless, any big updates on the Raja story, you already know where you're going to hear about it first.
Of course, yeah.
Any inside news?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and any up.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they're friends with Doug Mallow, so that they all went to the school together too. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to. Well, let me finish this here.
Because there is going to be updates eventually. We're just not trying to like push something over nothing. So once there is actual updates, you definitely will hear it on this channel first. And I know there will be, you know, with the police situation and all that.
All right. We asked if they want to see more of the dark side of Knox. Do you want us to bring Doug on and just have him part of the boys only? Just bullshit the way we normally do, but with Doug? Should he be the third person on here?
Or should we have Ian come tell his dark stories? Or both? Take turns?
Yeah, let us know. Is that pretty much it for this week?
Yeah, I think so.
That being said, we're out of here.
All right, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed that video right there. They gave us some good some more insight on the Rajai Jackson case there, involving another wrestler that was actually in the tag team match. And they actually won the tag team titles that night, but he said he couldn't even look at the belts because he didn't want it, based on the circumstances of his friend Psycho Stu almost getting unalived in front of everybody. So um, make sure you all hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. I'm WolfpacMaine, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Shout out to WolfpacMaine. Wolfpack for life.